Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I wanted to do a little bit of an update video because I've been gone for so long, and I wanted to talk a little bit about what happened, what's going to happen in the future, and just kind of give an update on all the should all be working. I should be here, I think. Let's see. Hopefully you can get some chat confirmation if there's somebody here and they can hear everything. I'll play some audio here as well. I hope this is the right project, yeah. Hope everything isn't too loud. David, how are you doing? Nice to see that everything is working. So yeah, I'm live. I'm trying this new thing here. I'm just going to try it out, see if this is kind of what I want to do here. Because I haven't been live for like over a year at this point, since my break. And right, making video content is different. I just kind of really felt like today I had some time. And my parents aren't home, so I'm not disturbing anybody by like talking for 4 hours while being live, and I just have nothing else to do as well, so all the factors kind of aligned. So what I'm going to do here in this live stream is I have this track, this old track. I'll play through it once, and then I'm just going to work on it because it has a bunch of cool ideas, I think, especially like stuff like here. I'm doing some weird stuff. But I definitely need to work on it. There's definitely changes that need to be made here. So I'm just going to play through it. And what I'm probably going to end up doing is change the theme of the track. So now the theme is about the human condition. I have some vocals in here, but not very much. So I still have a lot of room to work with in terms of like swapping out vocals and stuff like that. But I don't think I want to find vocals today because that's just time consuming and not really nice to like look at and to explain everything. So I'm just going to work with the theme as I have it now and swap out some of the sounds already knowing what I kind of want to work towards. And then, yeah, I kind of just want to continue the ideas of this track. And for example, like the kick and bass, I want to definitely improve those and do some other things here. I'm on headphones, so maybe not the best idea to like do very detailed mixing stuff and stuff like that. But we'll see what we can get out of it. Let's first play it through and see what we're working with here. Tider, how are you doing? Thanks for showing up. I don't know how long the delay is, if I'm like very fast or anything. It seems to also be fairly okay.
Welcome to the human condition. This is our show where we explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
Just came back from work. Nice. Nice. Working on a Saturday though. That's not great. All I have to do what we have to do, right? When I'm talking like this, can you hear my voice okay? Is it like not too... I see I'm flipping it. Turn down this.
Lost in thought. That's the human condition.
So there's definitely work that needs to be done here. It's very boring at the moment. Also, these pads are a bit overpowering. It's a bit low, the voice. I don't think I can turn it up more. Maybe a bit.
You may be having a spiritual awakening.
I added 5 decibels, it should be better now, I think. Like proportionately. The music sounds awesome, that's nice, that's nice. We're going to try to make it a whole lot better, because I'm not happy with it right now. This is an old project. I'm just kind of getting a listen through of it. Thank you. Thank you. We're going to improve it a lot more. New haircut? Yes. Yes. I'll explain the haircut once the track is played through.
This is our show where we explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
Or a sample missing here.
The problem was not the physical. The problem was spiritual.
Multiple samples missing.
The spiritual person.
It always happens with old projects.
I can't describe it. The anguish of the soul. Read about the black night of the soul. It was like that.
This part I'm very happy with. I'm going to modify this a little bit, I think. Maybe like change out some of the pads, some of the effects around it. Although this one isn't that bad. And the vocal also there, I do like that. And then here we are going to like have a breakdown, something like that. So that's the track as it is now. So this is an old project for me. I'd say I haven't worked on this for 5 months now, something like that. I'll talk about the haircut first. So, as you may know, I finished studying in September, and I wanted to continue doing a master. And my first choice was musical engineering in Milan, which had a 60 people like cap on it, right? So the maximum allowed number of people was 60 people, and that's for both their acoustic track and their musical engineering track. So they have 2 tracks. They both call them music and acoustic engineering. And I was interested in the music side of things. So that would be studying to become an audio engineer. What I want. I want to do something with music, so this was like my best bet, right? So I told my friends that I was planning on doing this and hopefully getting accepted. And what I said to them, kind of jokingly, was like, when I get accepted, I want to get a new look and I'll go fully bald. Because, you know, first I had like the long hair and stuff. And then we kind of turned it into a bet. If you get accepted to your first choice, then you have to shave your head. And this Thursday I got the news that I was accepted, so I shaved my head, and that's why I'm now bald. So yeah, that's the little bit of the background story on why I changed my haircut. But let's look at what we're working with. I'm going to ignore, I think, the drums for now, and I'm just going to, while playing through it, solo some of these elements. So I'm just going to listen to like the individual elements that we have here, and because it's an old project, I want to decide on which elements I want to keep and which ones I want to remove. And then once we have the new, like all of the elements that I want to keep in leads, I think, and pads, and maybe some effects, and then I'll do the vocals on my own, because as I said, I want to change the theme of this thing. And once we have the new elements, we'll work with those new elements to create something new. Maybe mix some of the old elements and change them in a way. But there's definitely things that have to go. What? You are going all in on the music? Yeah, I'm going fully in. And right now it's not the best time to be like a musical engineer, because like all of the live stuff isn't there, right? So you're not going to be like doing like concerts or audio stuff in like any live setting. But still, it's a cool thing. Because the headphone inputs really annoy me. It will definitely itch at some point. Yeah, it's the middle of the winter, so wearing like a beanie also is quite annoying, or just going outside like this after being used to long hair it's so cold. I think we can do something with this. Let's see how this is made. I think this is just, yeah. So I made this track once I developed the tone pack. So this is a whole bunch of synths using just one tone. Right, the tone sample pack that I already released. So all of these kind of tone packs, I think I want to have them out. And I want to add something else in there. So I'm going to remove this one. Well, I'm not going to remove it. I'm just going to disable it for now. And then we'll drag them into like a folder somewhere. So I still keep the idea. You have a bald patch on your head for spinning. Yeah, one thing, it was already going to happen, like going bald. So I kind of just had like 2 things here, like 2 indents already. So I just sped up the natural process a bit. I think I want this sound because it's a cool idea here. I don't know again if this is a tone. Okay, so this is just like a randomized phase saw wave, which is cool. We can definitely make this more interesting, but for now I'm going to leave it. I'm going to probably use it less densely. So maybe like this, turn that one off. But we're going to keep it. I'm going to keep this, again, less dense. So I'm just going to basically disable all of these clips, and we'll leave one clip there and rework it into maybe new melody or a new idea. This is a ARP, I think. I like that. I do want to keep that. Here we have something in the beginning. This is cool. I do like that. And then here, I think these two are like a little bit the same, or together at least. Like they have the same delay timing, so they sound really like uniform and together, right? So we'll use that, I think, together. But for now, I'm going to turn these off because I think I want to do something else here, more with like pads and stuff. This thing is that thing that sits here, which I think is maybe too aggressive for this track as it stands now, because the intro isn't that aggressive. This isn't an aggressive track, so I don't want all of the synths to be like very harsh and stuff like that. That's why, for example, I'll leave in the ARP. We'll have some of those, but it's going to be mainly like ARP stuff, pads, those kind of things, some sweeter synth sounds, and then we'll have a few aggressive ones to kind of give it the contrast, but not something like this lead line here, which is a whole bunch of different tones. It's just a bit too much. So this is going to be out. Next we have, this is a little bit generic, right? So, I mean, it's cool. It's a bit distorted, which is nice, but it's too generic, I think, for what I want here. Might try something else a little bit more unique-ish. And here we have acid stuff, I think. We'll keep that, we'll modify that, probably. Here's the more interesting part. So now we're going in the leads for the cooler bass section, basically. This should be a bit nicer here. So let's listen to this here. It's a cool frequency shifter thing. What I think I did is just a saw wave. Yeah, with a bandpass on it, which I'm actually moving. Okay. So here it's like moving up. Okay. That's strange. We might edit this. So let's make this like yellow. Like I'm not really know what I want to do here. And this one is just normal again, I think. I like it like that. That's cool, the like sweep up effect that we have. But I don't know if I like it all being wobbly like we had there. This synth I'm definitely going to keep because I spent a lot of time on it and I think it sounds amazing. What I'm probably going to do is maybe gate it a little bit. Maybe more than it is now. So either... is this automated? No, I can just turn that off. Let's set it to like 10 or something. So it's really like snappy. And then we'll modify the note length so that it sits nicer with the drum pattern that sits in here and the bass pattern. Like when this thing turns off here, then we have the bass play, right? So it's already on that, but the note is just not long enough to like stretch that completely. So that would be the goal here. Also, you're late. You're never late. You're always on time. It's been just a little bit, like 20 minutes. Did you drop into a template project? This is an old project. So this is an old project that I've been working on a while. This is a very big project. You can see it's massive. It's just that this was in a time where I didn't really have a lot of time, so I got burnt out on it real quick, and now I'm forcing myself to just remake it or redo something with this. So what I'm doing now is I'm just sifting through all of the things that I want to keep, and then we'll remove all of the things that I don't want to keep, and we'll work from there, basically. This is cool. I like that. Yeah, I kind of have to just familiarize myself with this project again. What do we have here? That's really cool. I like that. We can definitely use those as like filler material in here together with like this as it already is. And okay, so that's all turned off. We don't care about that. We have another like ARP thing. Or what is this? This is there. This in the intro, yeah. You have made so many points you work on, you should add some markers to remind on what you're going to work on. Yeah, right now we're just sifting through all of the stuff that I don't want, and then we'll probably go do like another little thing where for maybe like 2 or 3 minutes we'll fill up this notes track here. Maybe do another playback of it, and we'll just like add some notes to the area. And then I'm also going to fill in the marker track here, which is the track that I use to divide the track up into structures. So we could already do that, like this would be the intro, so this is yellow, this would be the pre-drop, so this is like that is like this. Well, this would be like a little fill here, because right, no kick and bass there. So it will be orange, and we'll go on it like that to have some kind of structure. I don't like to use the, what are they called? The locators. These things, you add them and it draws like a line downward. The reason for that is when you zoom out and you have a lot of locators, the way I like to work, where I have a very detailed part of the structure, like every fill is placed there, right? If I have like, let's say I do something like this, where I have, say just 2 bass notes where they are not on, and 1 kick that's not on here, let's say little fill, I will mark that on here with a little orange thing here, right, to signify that this is a fill. I don't want 1 locator here at the end of the, or at the start of the fill, and then another locator here at another section of the drop. That's annoying when you like zoom out. So for that reason I don't work with locators. Let's Control Z that, because I don't actually want that happening. And I will delete this as well. So that's what we'll do. First of all, I'm listening through out all of the leads here. And this thing I like, it's a nice slide into the break, I think, or into the drop actually. And then finally we have this. Okay. This is again too aggressive here. So I'm going to make a folder with old ideas. I recommend everybody does this, where you just drag and drop it in and it will create a new project file with whatever track or group you have. And that way you can save ideas outside of the project file itself, like outside of Ableton. And then you can just delete everything, like the actual track from here, and you'll still have like a copy of it. So now I've deleted all of the, or now I've moved all of the synths out, I can just go and start deleting these ideas, which is really useful, because now you're just left with all of the stuff that you do want to keep, right? Again, the same thing for these pad sounds. Let's have a listen. Just download my Ableton default template and it's amazing. Thank you. Thank you. It's nice to see that people can make use of the stuff that I create. I know it's a different workflow. The everything already filled in, like all of the groups. It does confine you to like one standard. But if it works for you, then it works for you. Also, thanks for the kind words, Stepanovic. Okay, we'll keep that. The first one has to go. I don't like that idea. So this is going to get deleted. It's a little bit annoying because it doesn't, the way I've set up my audio track thing, it doesn't take the track number here. So it's not, this is not ordered in the same way as this is here. So keep that in mind if you're using this technique. What do we have here? This is cool. It's a bit distorted, so we can work with it. I'll make this orange so I know that I need to change something here before it works. And finally we have this here. I don't think I want this. I'm just going to drag it in there and delete this. It's a little bit too aggressive for the vibe that I'm going for now with this track. Other than that, what do we have in pads? This is all intro stuff, so this should be okay. I'll make a change to this. I'm just going to go over it fast because this is a bit annoying. We have the transgate on here already, so I can maybe modify the transgate itself. Again, this is going to be orange. So I signify that I'm going to change that. What's this? This also, I think I want to do a bit more with that, make it a little bit more exciting. And here I think it's the same sound. Yeah, same thing. So this all needs to change basically, and this is also in here. Yeah, I don't want to mess with this here. And I'll leave the effects in here. So I think what I want to do is modify our kick and bass first of all, because our kick I am not happy with the kick and the bass. To be honest, on headphones it's a little bit hard to tell, but it does not sound exciting to me. So the way we're going to do this, the kick has all of its automations outside of the group, so that's nice. We can just throw in a new sample copy over, like the huge pattern. That's a little bit annoying that we have to change the pattern, but that should work. And then we can go to my references. Here I have some reference kicks that I extracted from these tracks, and we can maybe not use them directly because that would just be stealing somebody's kick, but let's take live frequency because that's a track I really like. So this kick sounds a lot nicer, right? Nice and subby. Of course it's going through my master channel now. What I might want to do is just delete that, or maybe let's deactivate it instead, because it is useful to keep things around. Right, so click that off, and now we have that. I am going to remove the EQ. It's not changing that much on the kick. So let's actually make a kick here. We're 145. And the way I make kicks is through samples. So I don't synthesize stuff. I have my own kicks already here. I even have like a remake of this kick, which is a bit different, but in terms of tone and stuff like that, it is similar. But I want to make a new kick for this track just to kind of make it more towards geared more towards this track. Can I A/B the two kicks? Sure. I'll do it like this. So now it's okay. I think we should be back. I think we should be seeing this come in. Yeah, I think I'm back. I'm sorry that there was some internet issues, but I cannot tell what was happening here. Yeah, so the goal is to get the kick more like this, and I'm just going to replace the samples here. Find something. I might just use like this one, which is one of my favorites. I wanted a longer kick. Here we go. You see here what the problem is that this, you see how it's like wobbly? So the wobble indicates to me that this is has some very low rumble stuff in it. We can check for that. We have just a normal EQ. If it's not that, then I don't think I'll use this kick, because I do want a clean transient. What happens if I very crudely do this? Will it remove the wobble? Because the wobble indicates a very low, like low speed oscillation to me. So removing that, it's going to mess up the kick. Yeah, it's going to introduce post-ringing, but you can see the transient itself is okay. So this could be used here. And we'll extend this to here. Let's first of all set this to 0. Make sure they're equally loud. I'm going to go. Should be able to like flip between the two. And then I can throw on a spectrum. And let's remove this. Turn off the filtering for now, and we should see. Overall, what it looks like to me is that, set this to -8 so we can see the whole scale. Our reference kick has a lot more sub, first thing. Second thing, it has a lot more high end, right? So it has the hat, which we want. Third, we don't really want to affect the mid-range. It seems to me like the mid-range is okay, all the way to like 8K. And here we want to just add some of that hat noise from 8K upwards. From 8K to, where is it? 19. And like rolling off like that, obviously. And then the mid-range here. Let's look at this. Also some more punch in like the 200 to like maybe even 500 area. But the high end stuff from 500 up should be okay. Now that's a lot. So we'll do it in like portions. We'll throw on an equalizer and just try to get that. Here's my analyzer preset, and I'm just going to apply the changes here. So let's see like our actual change in dB. So what I'm doing now is I'm just looking at the professional kick that we have here and my kick sample that we have here, and spotting the differences on the spectrum. So here we're hitting -10 decibels, say, whereas mine, first of all, it's not that low in terms of where the hump is, and second of all, it's like 5 dB too quiet. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to render the frequency shifter thing, right? I talked about the frequency shifter having problems, so we'll have to render like -3 hertz, I think would do. Let's render this out. I'm just going to freeze it. And if you've seen like my latest video, I talk about the frequency shifter, its problems that it has, that it's not Somebody explained it in the comments, or at least thought he knew what was going on. And that is that the frequency shifter uses a window to perform like FFT, which is the Fourier transform. But that window doesn't coincide with the kick length between like a beat. So between one beat and the other, the window area has changed, and therefore the actual tone of the kick changes once it's performed its calculation and then shifts it back to kick. So that's why the kick changes on every playthrough. Like if you loop it, every time it plays, it sounds differently because different windows area around where the internal workings kind of work on the frequency shifter. Okay, so now it's time to do our EQing. Now that we have everything the same, obviously I have to set up my analyzer again, and we'll make it big. And as we said, we're kind of just looking for like a hump up at around 200, which goes up to 5 decibels here. That's the first thing. Second thing is, let's look at our kick again here, is that in the mid-range, we're still losing a little bit in 300 to 400 region. Oh, so let's take a little boost here, like so. Okay, I'm going to now group this, because now we're going to go to the high end, it seems, where we're going to be adding a hat. And but before that, I want to see the mid-range difference, I think. Oh. What did we say? Like here from, let's see, 5K, we're at minus 57. Here we're pretty much the same. There's this little hump, but I don't think I want the details that much. What we do want is the hat. So now let's do the hat. Everything you're doing. Thank you. I think it's important when I am like making content so regularly that even during these streams where I'm just like chilling, basically, is that I still explain kind of why I'm doing the things that I do. Because that's really my brand, right? That's what I do here on YouTube. Does it give us length? Yeah, 30 milliseconds. So that's okay. I'm going to line this up with here. Let's do like that. I want a snappy kick sound here. I don't know why, but all of my kicks seem to have a little bit of a timing thing here. It's not that bad like in the whole track, but you can definitely see when you zoom in. But also I found that for live frequency it has that. So maybe it's a sample thing in Ableton. I don't know. Let's turn this down a little bit and then see what our frequency looks like now. Okay, so we have a lot of energy going on here. I want this energy up there, but I don't want to mess with this region here, how it's like curving down. So we're going to do a cool modification, and that's that we're going to shift part of the spectrum up using a frequency shifter, but not all of it. So the way we set that up is we would have a low pass, or let's set this to 10,000. Set it to a steep low pass. Wait, let's set it to 9,500. So like a bulk of the curve, maybe even lower. What I'm looking at is having this 10 line pretty much on the steepest part of the curve here. Now we can duplicate this. And on our duplicate, we remove our channel here and set it to a higher. So anything above 10k or 9k or whatever this point, anything in this area is going to stay unaffected, whereas anything below it is going to be shifted up by, let's say, 5,000. So we're basically shifting part of the hi-hat into a region that already has hi-hat on it. So we're just making it brighter, but in a creative kind of way. Right? So without it, it's very dark, and with it, it's just high-end energy. What I don't like is that we don't really have one harmonic in here that like stands out and give it some tone. So we're actually going to use the frequency shifters like randomness to generate one hi-hat for us that does have that. So let's, while looking at this, record until we find the right hi-hat spot. I think we had one there. Now we can move this over. We don't need this. And we can... There we are. You see how that has one harmonic? If I loop this, it has this one distinct harmonic there. I'm going to normalize this to 0 dB. It's our boy projector. It's indeed your boy projector. Let's extract, or not extract, let's take that single harmonic and just kind of try to find it here. Well, that's spot on. A bit higher, so we don't have that lower version of that harmonic there. And we can use this to shape that out a little bit. Okay, so now we have one tick up there, like the one single harmonic thing. Now together, I do think that sounds cool. I think I want to do a little trick here, which is the dynamics on this. And I'm going to just basically emphasize the transient. So we have 10 milliseconds of attack. Our sample is, this is about like 30, or maybe a bit more. This is about 30, because this is 200 and this is 300, right? So the whole sample should be, just tell us like how long selection we have. It's about 20 milliseconds. So I want attack of about there. And we're shaping off just like 1.5 decibels now. But that's basically going to turn the volume down starting like here. Which means that it's going to be more in line with the shape of our kick, which makes it sound more uniform. Why does it do that? Ah, it's doing the clicks here. Okay, so now we process this by waves. Never put an SSL compressor on the kick. I'm going to ignore that because I have a very cool trick. Set this to 0. Set this to 0. I'm going to set the shortest release and attack and a ratio of 2. We should already have the compressor engaging. Yeah, and now we can set the threshold. Theoretically, we can set the threshold so that it's at 0. Is it doing so much already? Okay, so maybe not with this compressor. I was always doing it with the glue compressor, but I wanted to check if the normal SSL could do it as well. So this theoretically should give us a kick that is... Ah, okay. Wait. We're looking at this here. This is our kick that we're interested in now. So without anything, it's 2.29. Zero dB makeup. Ah. It should be affecting it even less. Maybe it's already too loud going in. Let's assume that that's the case. We'll set this at minus 2.3. So this should now peak at 0. Right? Oh wait, no, that's not the one. I want this to peak at 0. So this is supposed to be 0. Keeping everything organized. 0. Minus 2.3. Sorry. So now we should peak at 0 here. Maybe we can go down even a bit further. Okay. So this now should be gluing everything together a bit. Without it, it should peaks about 3 decibels higher. Oh, wait, this is it say us? User manual. Sorry, let me just quickly see here. I want to know what that in button does. Threshold, rate, analog, in. Serves as a bypass button. When in is selected, the compressor is active. When in is deselected, the compressor is inactive. Obviously, that's going to make it sound different. Okay. Let's dial back on the aggression here on this compressor a little bit. Now we have our kick at minus 7.8. We want that at 0, basically going into the fader, because this is at 0. So we want to gain stage this. I'm just going to use the same trick twice, but with the glue compressor. So it's already working. Now we set this to 7.93. And we have a kick at 0. So there's a trick. We can see it's working, so it's shaping things off. But let's see how good it sounds. So we're going to take input, or how good it looks actually. If we have, in terms of the waveform, kind of the same look as we have on our reference kick. And to me, it looks like the sub might be suffering in comparison with that. We can check that on the analyzer too. We're hitting minus 9.96 there, and here we're hitting definitely lower on the sub. Oh. So we definitely want to add some low end to this thing with an EQ here. Let's just use the normal one. So as you can see, I'm just referencing and then looking, okay, where do I need more stuff to happen? So about 2.6, we want to get to minus 10 dB-ish. minus 12. Let's add 2 to this. And now we sit at minus 2. So now we have a kick that's very similar to this, I think. Let's record it one more time just to check if what we're doing is correct. 28 here. And then yoink. It might be a bit too loud here. Is this clipping? We don't want that. 28, let's see. Definitely clipping. You see this analyzer has gain compensation, so we can... Oh. You have to play it, I think. You have to let it hear the gain. So now we can boost it. Right, because we're under. It doesn't really matter. We can just add to the gain, output gain here, 128. So this is minus 1 decibel. Should be close enough to 0. Let's set it to, let's be precise about this. Just because I have OCD. Also, is it mono? Yeah, okay. I just look at the faders. If they're doing the same thing, then they're mono. Why is it still so loud though? Like this is still clipping. Isn't it? Yeah. Post mixer. 28. Do I have something after this? Plus 1, the one, minus 1.01. Aha. Okay. Now we have a workable kick here. So this is going to this kick is going to replace everything that's happening above here. So we're just going to one final cleanup here, and then we should be good to go. Yeah, this is the middle. So we make 4. We make a bit more like this. Oh, we have all kinds of fills in here as well. Okay. This is fun. Having to redo all of the little details and stuff in here. Minus 5, minus 2. I think this is just normal, right? Yeah. I'm gonna go a little bit lower, I think, because this kick, I think, is a bit more aggressive. So that's the reasoning behind going lower in volume on the little fill. It does sound cool. Let's just these and then take it up till here. Okay, it seemed like we're missing one kick here. Seems that this area really is like just one part up until like the build-up. And then here, do I want to keep that effect of not having the hat? Because here what we've done is, right, this kick is like that, and then we have just the without the hat. I don't want to redo the whole kick and make for one version of this without the hat, so I think I'll try with it. If it's not what I'm looking for in terms of like the tone, then we'll switch it out with what I'll probably do at that point is just like take this hat and just like low filter it and take out some of the high end with the EQ, like low pass it, sorry. This is the part with the nice synth in here. So this is synth part. What I'm thinking of doing is once I am done streaming this, I might take the time to actually edit some of this and take out all of like key tips in here. That's -4. So this might be like something extra I can post on YouTube. And just like, you know, that channel which takes, it's for pop music. Oh. There's this channel for pop music, I think it's called Soul Music, and he just takes like clips of streams and tips from producers that are streaming, and he just like takes them and uploads them as compilations to his channel. I might do one of those for me. So that's the goal here, is I'll edit out all of the annoying stuff that I'm doing, like all of the sorting, and just focus on the actual things that are like interesting. Our main bass isn't doing anything. We can fix this bass, right? Also, what is this? Okay, here we have an extra click on it. Okay, we also have that here. LP. Stereo layer, which is too present, too aggressive. I think I'm just going to redo the bass line, like fully. Because I've been experimenting so much with different ideas for a bass line. I'm happy to, you know, redo this whole thing with the new techniques that I've learned. So the start of my bassline process is still the same, in that I find a saw wave, I throw on a filter, I set up an envelope like this, and then I set it to the cutoff. Zero phase, like everything like this is just normal. And then for the volume, we'll use the second LFO. LFOs are useful because it allows you to do very specific envelope shapes that you wouldn't be able to do like in a normal envelope. Like I wouldn't be able to get this exact shape within the timing of a 16 note playing like exactly like it's playing here. So I use an LFO to do that. Let's trigger this. Okay, so it's terrible right now. Perfect. I'm going to make my life a bit easier by just doing this. It sounds too open, so I'm going. And now it's just a matter of processing. Good to see me. Nice. Good to see you too, Bulge. Although normally your bulge is not something that I look at. In man, you know. Ever so slight. I should probably do the distortion later in the processing chain. Right now I don't have any processing on it, so let's do that first. what I found is that phase shift isn't as bad as people say it is in a baseline. And what that means is that I've been using plugins like this. Which hopefully we can find the right frequency for, like this. I'm looking for a little bit of an like in-your-face experience, so. Probably, maybe. I do want it to open a bit more, but I want it to be like little clickier, I think. Let's try another multiband here. And this is already getting to the core of what we want. Although, oh, 1-to-1. We don't want any compression on this. What we also want, which is something I just realized, is velocity controlling our volume. So with a bit of an attack and a release long enough to cover just one note, we should get oh, this is all linked. We don't want that. Don't mind me. Just turn off link here. It's an annoying parameter. We should be able to take out some of the like secondary oscillation here. You see we have one main point and one second point after it. If we set up our thing here like that, let's add some knee to it, and then we can up the threshold a little bit. Yeah, we're just taking off 1 dB, so let's put 1 dB back in. And let's also do something like this for the high end. Although this is just one spike, so that wouldn't really work. We can just take one. My new hairstyle suits me very well, I agree. It was a bit of an... Well, it's not an accident. I deliberately said that I would do it. But the way it came out, I'm much happier with the end result than I thought I would be. So that's nice. Okay, here I'm going to kind of emphasize 5 to 10K a bit. Maybe like 12.6 or something, and then just turn this down a few decibels. A bet is a bet, indeed. And I honored the bet, so I'm happy with that. Now we can EQ this. Like I said I would do it, so I just did it. I'd have to get it over with. A little bit of a dip at 500 seems to be nice. And then we'll give it some 100 hertz punch. And then here, the high shelf. Can I change the Q here a little bit to make it... Nice. Okay, now comes the time to boost all of this. The baseline. in volume so we can mix it in. So ideally we want this to hit peak at 0 dB because now it's at 0 in terms of the fader. So how am I going to do that? I'm going to use, I guess I'll try emo mono. I want a mono baseline for now. So this is a limiter, very normal stuff. What I like about this limiter is its visualization is very good in terms of seeing when it's actually doing something. So now we're at -10. I think if we should just set it up by 10 dB, we should hit 0 now. Which means if we put this at -9, everything should work and sound nice and be like level and well mixed, right? Yeah. Look, we have some problems. We have issues with the kick that we need to fix. So let's do it the crude way and just record this. By the way, the numbers on the stream today are like, this was just like a last minute idea. I kind of just woke up and said, like, I haven't streamed in like 1.5 years. Let's do that. And then I did, and now everybody's showing up, which is really nice. Like 12 people are here. That's, well, it's not my record. It's close to, I think like 16 consecutive viewers would be like my record. But still, I'm happy with this. Happy that people want to see what I do. So what I'm doing now is I'm just cleaning up the baseline, right? So I'm taking individual bass hits and just placing them in there. Now we can consolidate this, and now we'll just have like an audio version of our baseline, which is clean and not cause any issues. So this is -12.3 now. For some reason it isn't as loud as kick. I think it's okay in terms of volume, maybe a little less. More people showed up than you thought. Niche communities here, that's nice. Yeah, I've also found that I have created a little bit of a niche community in Discord, right? In my Discord server, there's a lot of people talking about audio related products there, like 3 or 4 people who just constantly do like speaker recommendations, headphones, stuff like that. And that's really cool. Okay, let's record this again. We should have a cleaner kick now. Oh, where did I record to? I didn't record to anything. I always get anxiety when I see that I'm pressing record and nothing is happening on the track that I wanted to record on. I'm scared that I'm recording over something else. Okay, let's see what this peaks at. -8. Oh, wow. So that's perfect. Almost. We might want to... We might want to turn up the bass a little bit in volume. Not too much. I think 2 dB might be... Let's set it to -10. So it's 2 dB low below the kick then. Oh. Is that too much? Oh, we're already over? We're already not peaking at... Ah, because of this. Yeah, that's a mess. Okay, so this is a mess that we need to fix. Give it some milliseconds delay and it stands out more. Yeah, that's true. The fact that it's Saturday. Oh, I'm clipping, by the way. The fact that it's Saturday is really helping. It's going very well, Gobby. Thank you for asking. Well, to fix this, we can just turn this down like -2, maybe -3 to get it where it was, right? And then it should be okay. I don't think I want to give it a delay in milliseconds. I think I wanted to almost get it forward by a millisecond. Well, millisecond doesn't really matter. It's not like we're going to perceive that, but it's right, like it's off by a bit, definitely. Oh, that's our kick and bass should be. Yeah, it's not as clean as I would want it. Let's fix that. So we're going to duplicate our baseline, have one isolated, and then this might be a bad idea because oh wait, I know why. I didn't remove the sub-bass from here yet. I probably want to do this with a 24 dB per octave. And then just enable this minus 24. So this is linear phase. Not going to mess with our phase, but it should remove all of the low end and make it easier to mix in. We don't have this wobble here now, preferably. So yeah, here. Analytically, this is looking like a nice kick and bass setup to me. It's not, it's still a bit wobbly there, but not too much. So I'm happy with this. The final thing that we might want to consider adding is a very slight bit of stereo to this. So let's make a stereo layer. And the way I'm going to do that is everything up until this point is mono. So we need some stereo stuff happening. And what we can do is emulate something I saw Eclip do, where you would have alternating peak bands. And can I set? Yes. So this is going to go to the left, then this is going to go down to right, then this is going to go down to left. Right, so we're alternating the bands, right, down. And this is a bad idea in basically every case. You should never really do this. But what this does do is create a very cool stereo image that isn't shifted so much and is completely deterministic. So what it means to be deterministic in terms of an effect is that a non-deterministic effect is like reverb. It is random. At some point you might have a reverb that you really like, and at some point there's a reverb that you don't like, because every time there's some randomization in what the reverb actually does. So this equalizer doesn't do that. Every time you put the audio through it, it's going to do the same thing, in theory, at least. So now it sounds weird, right? Don't we agree? So I'm going to hopefully get this to output at the same level, which it seems to do. And now we're going to MS this, and in the midst we're going to just remove everything, and then in the side we'll get the if I haven't deleted the old bass, I can compare it with this one. The old bass is still here, so we'll do that. Absolutely. We have to see if we actually improved what we're doing here. Now let's listen with our stereo bass here. Might be a bit too loud overall. Nope. It does sound fat. It sounds nice. I'm happy with what we're getting at here. I don't want to clean it up. So what we should probably see is that this is fairly... Oh, it's clickier than I thought it would be. Okay, so it has some tail to it, right? Let's just get the click. Like the first oscillation of each of them. Like this. And now I would be happy to turn it up a bit. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to... Okay, so we would go down by 20. Which may be a bit too much. Let's try like 27. 23. The goal is to get just a little bit of stereo in here at the start. Which it does line up with this, but it's completely stereo, right? So you can see it's an inverse, an exact inverse of the other one. This is just some ear candy for people listening in stereo. You're not going to hear this in the club. I'm going to group this. Now what I've been doing is systematically every time I group something, I'll take this and I'll take the highest volume value and set it to here and then compensate everything around that. So we always have 1 0 in the group, except for like the main groups down here. These are always 0 for me. And then our main bass is our main bass isn't doing anything because